What's good? This is Toxic. Grab your brew and listen. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get it. What's good? Welcome to the podcast. I'm here chilling with my girl. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, it's Christie, aka Kevin's fiance. I'm here just wanting to talk about life, kind of let you guys know a little bit about myself and my family and us and my upbringing and where I'm at and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, my first question for you is pretty much tell us about yourself.
So, with me, the first thing that comes to mind is I'm mama. That's where I'm at in my life. I have 3 beautiful, amazing daughters. Me and Kevin both do. And, a lot of people look at our story, they know us just from kind of social media perspective. And that's why I want to kind of let people know, and put into perspective what the truth is behind all of our family and how we came about. And so that's what I want to talk about today.
All right. So, how was your life growing up?
My life growing up was pretty decent, keep it real, honestly. My very first memory was of my parents' wedding, believe it or not. My mom married my dad, technically stepdad. But they were happy for years, I just remember my mom working constantly. My dad being with us, raising us up until I was about 12, when my mom had a nervous breakdown. She stopped working. They still stayed strong together, put me through up until I was about 19. I got kicked out, I was working part-time, but I got heavily into my boyfriend at the time, which turned out to be my first kid's dad. And he to them was no good. And he wasn't. He was kind of no good for me.
Yeah. So, I understand all that happened. So, how was your life on your own at 19?
Yes, so I was kicked out at 19. So from 19 on, I've never moved back home. And I've completely, pretty much been on my own with him on and off. And we started out, he got locked up for about 2 months. And he got out. Me and him moved to Hollywood, which is where his mom stayed. And we lived there for a few months, which was like a honeymoon stage. This is great. We had no children, no bills. So naturally, you're going to get along, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and then, things kind of got different. And his mom needed to be alone with his sister. So we moved back to Bakersfield with my sister. So the 3 of us lived together, and every day was like a party. There was something going on. Someone was coming over. It was someone's birthday. Something was cracking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was fine when all of us were working, but he didn't want to work anymore. He lied to me about working. He did drugs constantly, and so I paid for 2/3 of the rent, and it just became kind of a hassle. So he moved out. Me and my sister kind of moved on to our own. I moved into our own apartment, but I kept seeing him. And people would say, why would you go back to that? Why would you keep doing that? If he was so terrible, why would you keep going back? And the thing that I will say is,
It's all right.
it's kind of like, I don't know.
I know it could be emotional. I understand.
Yeah, so honestly, I think I just felt like it was someone that was always there, that I could be myself around.
Yeah.
And, those people can be hard to find. But just because you're friends with someone doesn't mean you need to be together. and so we kept seeing each other. And so, I would go to, he had his own place at the time, and so did I. So I would go over. I ended up getting pregnant with Jade, but we weren't officially together according to our families,
Yeah.
And so we decided to make it official again since we were pregnant, and moved in together, and everything was fine until the same thing started happening with the couldn't keep a job and being, kind of messing around with drugs, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I moved in with, my sister for a little bit to try to get on my feet, and I had this 2 and 3-year-old with me, and it was just really hard. And so I finally got my 1-bedroom apartment with the girls, and taking them to school. Luckily I had my mom and my dad to help me babysit while I was at work, because I had to try to make it on my own while still.
And shit like that could be really difficult. Like, I could kind of relate to that in a way. I know at that time I didn't have kids or anything like that, but I feel like I could relate in a way where, like, yes, like, because I had to take care of my mom back in the day when she was, she had Parkinson's, and she couldn't do shit by herself. And it's very hard to, like, to get shit done when you have, like, a priority at home and stuff like that, or you need somebody to watch somebody, and that's why you have to appreciate, like, your parents too, and people that really helped you out for certain situations like that, because all that could be a rough situation, and I feel that could relate to a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Right, I totally agree with that, and that's very similar to what I was going through too.
Yeah.
And like with him, even though I was on my own, he was in LA at the time again, and I was living in my 1-bedroom, but we would still communicate. Obviously, we have children together, and I would always let him back in. Well, why? Why would you do that? Well, the reason being is because of the children, and because I did love him. There's a difference between loving someone but knowing you're not good with them.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hardest lessons, and I really truly feel like a lot of women need to know today, like, you can love someone and know you cannot be with them.
Like, it's okay.
Yeah, so from a distance, I don't wish you no harm, but I can't be with you. Like, I can't.
It's not even being selfish. I don't know. It's not the word selfish, but it's like you have to look out for yourself too. You have to love yourself in a way to, like,
especially when you have children.
Exactly.
Especially when you have children, because you have to be selfish for them.
Exactly.
When you have to, and when you're a mom, like, that just protective, like, instinct comes inside of you, and like, you're not in a stable place to be a dad. At least not with me. With me and you were no good. It can't be. So there was always constant drama, with him. It was arguing, fighting. We got into fist fights. We drank together. We were alcoholics together. We, so many different things that were terrible to just terrible people together.
And shit like
individuals were decent people.
And shit like that could make shit, like, really fucking rough. Like I said earlier, like, in the way it was a good thing, and just in general, not just you, in general, for people to, like, get out of the certain situation, like, it's not right, because in the end of the day, it's like you have to care about you and your kids at the end of the day, and just in general for people, like,
right. And the ones that break it off and get back together, those are the ones that have wishful thinking, which is wishing and hoping for something that's not true. Knowing the truth and thinking something else is gonna happen. You already know the truth. It's not gonna work. And that's what that is. It's terrible. It's sad. We done cheated on each other. We done played each other. You done stole from me. You've beat me. We've done everything to each other. It's like breaking a house, pounding it with a hammer and trying to rebuild out of no trust, no respect, no nothing. You can't.
So I understand that all this ended up happening, and eventually, obviously, you guys like broke up. So after all that, how was it life being a single mother?
So, you know, there's a lot of controversy with this because people say you were no single mom. But yeah, I was, because I was the backbone. I was the more responsible, headstrong, planning person of the two of us, you know.
And it's not like you're trying to like brag
I'm
about
not
it, but it's
at
just
all.
it's just the reality of it. Like
The reality
people
of
would have
it.
to understand you're part of the situation. You know
Very.
what I mean? I understand. It's not like we're trying to say, or like, I'm not trying to say like be sexist with the mom knows that. It's not
Right.
even that, but like
Never.
if you were to grow up with somebody that was doing like drugs, and obviously and you're sober, you're gonna be like, I'm probably the most capable of doing. It's like drunk driving. Like if it's something similar.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You got your person that is sober. Obviously, he knows what he's doing because he's fucking sober. And then compared to somebody who's drunk and shit all the fucking time, obviously they can't drive. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. And so that's what I'm kind of trying to say. So after that, I was blessed with my 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment in a decent part of town. And this was like the biggest blessing to me as an independent mother on my own. And, people might look at it and say, it's really that? No, it was. Like being independent, I had my own car, my own job, I was doing my own thing and everything.
And I also, sorry to cut you off. I could also relate to that because even when I first came to Bakersfield, I could say it was my second place because I remember the first time I came to Bakersfield, I was living with my brother and everything like that. And when you come from nothing and get something that it may get you emotional, and it makes you feel fucking good, and it feels like a big fucking treasure. Whether you look at it like, oh, it's that little shit or that little place, like, it's a fucking blessing. Because I remember one of the first times I thought I was gonna be homeless in Bakersfield, like I ended up getting a fucking house, and it was like the most emotional shit. I fucking cried to the lady almost and shit, like I was happy as fuck. Like for people who go through situations like you should appreciate stuff instead of like talking down to people on certain things like that. Because I know there's a lot of people that make jokes. Oh, you live in this small house, you live in this side of town. Appreciate what you got. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely, So I've been here for almost 7 years. So it was 7 years ago. This was the best blessing to me because I was working a little over minimum wage job, on my own, and a good part of town. I got my daughters. It's some place I can go to every day and be comfortable.
Yeah.
And so it's been a blessing, and I let Andy back in, which was a mistake because he would bring friends through here. It wasn't for very long, but I did.
And I feel like people should realize certain.
And I hate, I see those relationships. Well, look how stupid they are. They're back on, off again, on again. Look how dumb they are. They're baby daddy, baby mama. Well, the reason is you. When you have children, you have this vision in your head that it will work.
Yeah.
And you're hoping for a miracle. And so those people aren't dumb to me. They're just like maybe a little naive. But they're hoping for a miracle, and they want their family to work. Is really what it is.
Yep.
And so
I agree. It's like you like it's hard seeing someone you care about going through shit, and you just wish something to happen like that,
and you refuse to see the truth.
Yeah, and it's the thing too, like people, yes, because it could be like, oh, you're dumb, but like, you're not in that situation to understand. Like, how would you, like, even in a guy's perspective, let's say, like, I'm just saying in general, let's say you had your baby mama, let's say she's doing drugs and she's going through shit, and obviously you had kids with her, and you loved her. So obviously, you still love her. You could be in love, or you just have love for her. You would want to help them, and then hopefully you still maybe have those feelings still, and you still want to work it out because you look at the kids and they're happy to see their the other parent and stuff, and then if that all kind of hits you, and yeah, like You know what I'm saying.
Right, and so through so many years, from 19, this puts me at, I don't know, the age of 26, 7. And I was very, close with his family at one point, bringing the girls over there, even when he wasn't involved. And so that makes you feel more attached too,
Mm-hmm.
And so just really wanting to make it work, but knowing deep down it could never. And that's so hard. To tell someone that you genuinely love, I can't be with you because we're not good together, and it's hard. And I know
it's not just about you; it's about the kids. End of the day, too.
Right,
It's like you want to make sure the kids are on the right path. That's the thing about a lot of people that are not parents. Like, they have to understand like certain things like that. Like, you just want to have the kids have a good life.
Right, and they can't. Like, the two parents, like, they feed their demons feed off of each other. Like, you're a drinker. Well, I'm not a drinker, but I drink with you, so you both drink together constantly. How are you supposed to raise some kids if you're both doing bad things together? Like, it's never gonna work. The person who has those bad qualities needs someone who does not have that, and that's how you balance each other. And so, I don't know. You need to put like someone who likes to drink and party with a square. Like, you have to do that, or it's just not gonna work. You can't both be like turned up all the time, ready to just mess up. Someone needs to take the reins, take the responsibility of different parts of your life. You need to balance each other at the end of the day. And it's just like, some people you just can't be with, even though you love them.
Exactly.
And so all of that happened. And so, he ended up moving out of my house. He only lived here for like a few weeks, I think, and moved back in with his family, when he ended up getting cancer, actually. And he was on and off from his family's house to his friend's house, his best friend's house at the time. And he beat the cancer, but it ended up coming back, and he met a girl that he was just crazy in love with, and I was so happy for him. 1, because he was happy. 2, because he could kind of leave me alone and I could be free. It kind of him moving on set me free.
Before all that, obviously, you guys had a lot of like problems.
Right. I mean, I would explain some of it. We had a lot of problems. So him getting with someone else, like I said, made him happy. That made me happy. I was not mad ever.
And it gave you also some type of relief.
Set me free. Absolutely. So those are the two main feelings I had about him moving on. So at first they were like, we want some visitation. Absolutely. Yes. Because I can see that she's a decent person.
And see, that's the thing too. I ain't cutting you off, but it's like things when you say things I already know is gonna go. Like, I feel like parents, let's say if they're broken up, but it's fine to do that. Hey, you should see like the kids in this day. Like, that's very fucking important for the kids, because like at the end of the day, like the kids want love both parents regardless. They have no fault in anything. And I'm just saying, I've seen this before where like sometimes the mom is a fucking bitch and she'll be like, well, you're not seeing my kid, and sometimes the dad just disappears. Like that's not fair, like I don't know how people could fucking do that, like me as a father, like I cannot see myself like leaving my kids. Like, that's like, you're a fucking bitch, and like you should just give up on life if you're like that. Like, I understand like you're disabled and you can't do shit, and the way I kind of get you can't do much, but like if you're young and physical and you're working, you should take care of your damn kids. That's one good thing people should do. Take care of your damn kids, because they're gonna remember all that shit, and they're gonna grow up and they're gonna be like, fuck my dad. And then when they're successful, and then you're gonna be like trying to come in and shit like, oh, I love you, son, or I love you, baby, and like, nah, nigga, like, fuck all that.
That's so true. So honestly, I feel like getting with her, made him want to be more of a parent. She probably brought that out of him, I'm guessing. So, which is great. But what wasn't great was when they decided to try to take the girls from me permanently. Now, you gotta understand, I've been holding it down. I've been the one holding it down with my family. So the fact that you're trying to go to court and take my children away from me is bullshit. I went through supposed restraining orders, which never went through.
And that's like a low blow what people do for some shit.
The take the kids away completely, which never went through, but tried. Stealing my children's clothes. I would send them to school with beautiful clothing. They'd come home with terrible clothing when I'd pick them up from school because they wanted to just play with me. Now, if it was something kind of get back at her for the past, that's not fair because we both have a bad past. He wasn't no angel.
No one was perfect.
No one was perfect. But I wasn't trying to steal clothes from a damn child's back because of the mom. Trying to say that I told my kids to touch themselves. Yes, I'm putting that on speaker. That never happened. How dare you?
That's what I'm saying. It's like all low blow. Sick. Like that's some fucked up shit people will make up. Just to like get on, make people look like shit or like get them in trouble. That's like a low blow. That means
that's
for people
terrible. How do you like sleep at night?
For people to do shit like that, you're a fucking pussy and you deserve to not even have your own motherfucking kids or some shit like that. Because who knows what the fuck you would say.
You don't. And I never would do that. Like there might have been many arguments, many fights with me and my kid's dad, Andy. But I would have never permanently taken our children away from him. Never. Ever. And I'll put that on the record. Ever. So I dealt with a lot of that. And I believe the last thing was the restraining order. I remember the last day that I talked to him. I was picking up Jade and Danica from school. I saw him at the school because his new girlfriend's kids also went to the same school. And I'm walking past him. And he's like, "Girl, you've gained weight. What, are you pregnant?" And I said, "No." And I just looked down at the floor. And I just said, "Why don't you just go plot your next move?" "You know what? I will." And then he just walks over to his new girlfriend. And I get a text, because this was in late February. I get a text on my birthday. And it's something like talking shit to me. I remember him just talking shit to me. And I was just like, yeah, you're not going to ruin my birthday, blah, blah, blah. I think it was actually with you, babe, that day. I spent my birthday with you.
So we're talking about the timeline at this time. Me and her were just seeing each other. We were talking.
As friends, mostly.
Yeah, and I still remember her birthday because at that time
I got a flat tire.
We got a flat tire, and then we walked into the store. We bought beer.
It was Michelob's.
I think it was Michelob's. And then I think you just got your taxes at that time. I remember.
And we were like, turn up. I think that's why he was mad, because I got all the taxes returned or something like that. And so he was all pissed off or something. And then so I was like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's my birthday. You're not going to ruin it. Then I get a call on the March, like about a week later, from his stepmom saying, "Andy's in the hospital." I was like, well, he's always in the hospital. He has cancer on and off. So I'm thinking, okay. And then she's like, no, like his mom's down from LA and his sister, and it's really bad. And so I'm like, wow. And I I'm not gonna lie to you, it was at night. I was drunk. I was super buzzed, and I started crying, and I said, "What does that mean?" And it wasn't just about dying, but a lot of different emotions come into play. And she was like, "It's not looking really good, And I was just like, okay, well, just let me know. I didn't know what I was going to tell my girls or how they were going to react and just everything. So
Um, I remember sitting around a fire at his stepmom's house, and when he officially passed away, I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And they were like, you know, so no more drama for you. And I was like, you know, yes, that's one of the feelings I had. And I'm not going to lie at all at this point. Yes, one of the feelings I had was, oh, the drama's over. But it wasn't like, oh, a new life. Like, yay, fuck that fool. That was never my mindset. It was more like, you're at peace. His life had been drama from birth to death, you know, and so it was a piece for him and a piece for me. And at least I knew now that I could try to figure something out for me and my girls, you know. And so that's what that was. And I remember, actually, I got fired from Denny's the very same day he died.
Yeah.
For fighting with a bitch ass cook. For some bullshit. It was the same day, but I already had a second job at another Denny's, so.
Alrighty, so obviously this is a tough question to ask, but how did his death affect you?
So I think I explained most of it. Like, it brought me a peace, honestly. But from his death of 3 years ago to now, I'm not gonna lie, I think about him probably every other day. And it's not, and I miss you, I miss being with you. It's more of a, like, a memory. You know, I see our children, but it's more of like a past memory, because we're still building memories. I'm building memories with Kevin, with me, with family. But just a song, sometimes he'll pop into my head. But I trust God so much that I feel like everything worked out to plan of God's plan. Like, I really, really do. And my life is good. I'm not gonna say I have no problems, because I still do. But
Everyone has problems at the end of the day.
Yeah, they do. But
no one's perfect in their lives 100%.
And I'm not gonna act like I haven't felt any kind of guilt, because I have, if people want to know that. But no, I don't blame myself for his death. I don't. Because at the end of the day, I know that I brought him drama. Hell yeah, I gave it to his ass. But he gave it to me twice as hard. And, you know, no one, unless you physically have murdered somebody and put them through more of a trauma that they could imagine, you shouldn't blame yourself for someone's death. You shouldn't, especially knowing
Shit just happens. No one could fucking predict certain shit that just happens out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like cancer and stuff like that. That's something he was dealing with. You know, so it's not like he fucking, like, you know.
And
like,
I always
that's
go
why I hate
back
when
to
people say
God's
that
plan.
shit.
Like, God's plan, truly, like when you trust in God, like, life becomes more peaceful and you have more faith, like, and you can feel in the moment. And that's what, at the end of the day, I truly believe in. And that's why I get through every day. But he is in my memory, and I truly try to remember the good. And the reason is because anyone who passes away, you should try to remember the good in them. You know, because they were a part of your life. You know, I have 2 girls out there that he birthed with me. I birthed. But, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though their stepdad, Kevin, is raising them at this point, you know, I still have those memories.
It's fine, you know, like, I've never really been mad about that ever, you know. Like, I understand the situation, like, how would it, you know, it would be kind of unfair if it was the opposite way. If it was, let's say, it would have happened the opposite way. Let's say I had the situation. Like, you can't take that because at the end of the day, it's not just you, it's the kids. The kids remember him and they, you know, and they see
Right.
all that.
They do, and I try to keep his memory alive to a certain extent. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say, well, forget about him. He was nobody, because that's not true.
And that's wrong to do.
And we will never do that. You know, and I will, whatever any question my daughters have for me, I will tell them the truth. He was funny. He had a good, you know, spirit. He was respectful to people. He made people laugh. That was his thing. He burned a lot of bridges and messed a lot of people over, but that's another thing, you know, and I won't lie. And I don't expect anyone to lie on me when I pass. This is what it is, you know what I mean? And I will always forever tell my daughters the truth about him. And yes, he did love them. I don't think that he ever once in his body hated my daughters, ever.
Nope. So I don't want to seem like I just me mentioning all this because I'm talking about how the timeline went and everything, and I just happened to be around that time, you know. So I know right after he died, I came in the picture. How was life treating you then?
So around that time, you know, I had met Kevin. He was just like my big crush. I felt like truly he became my big crush at first. And then, you know, we started talking, which was super exciting. And this was, you know, Andy had already moved on to his girl and I was single. And we would talk every night. And you know, he became almost more of my friend than anything.
And I still remember I used to call you at 2-3 in the morning, drunk as fuck.
Yeah, he did. He did, and I didn't mind it because you know what I'd be doing? I'm gonna be so honest. I'd be laying on the bed wishing my girls were with me because this was at the time where he would have them half the week, I would have them half the week. And half the week they weren't with me, I was fucking miserable and I didn't know what to do with myself. And so he would call me and I'd be there office doing nothing, laying my ass on the fucking bed, literally probably waiting for his phone call. Eating fucking pizza, drinking a beer. I swear to God, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And so we kind of got close at that point. I told him my situation a little bit, and it kind of just like really, and it's just how I truly feel, it fell into place.
I agree.
And that's why I feel like we're meant to be.
And
that's one of the reasons, anyways.
And it's true too, because like we're both just going through stuff in our own, you know, on our own lives. And you know, I just wanted to get out from the situation where I was at the time, and then we just both agreed to be living with each other and everything, and it fell into place. I never felt forced. I never felt like this and that. Like I enjoyed every moment.
Same. And so like we would talk every day, like we said. And then, you know, he eventually met the girls and it was like they hit it off. And I remember one of our conversations we had on the phone was, we had a few times actually. Man, it'd be so cool to have my own little girl, man. And it's just like, well, I have two, you know? And, you know, oh man, I would love to be a dad. Oh, that'd be so cool. And it was like, well, we don't have a dad. You know, it became like, this is too much of like a perfect situation. Why don't you just come over here and be our daddy, you know? And so that's kind of how that happened. And then we had another baby girl. And it's just like, she's amazing.
And it's crazy too, because I remember I always, even you know, at the time too, I told you, and then I've always wanted a girl, a daughter. I don't know why. I always just wanted a fucking daughter.
He sent me 2 videos about daddy and daughters, and I'm like, man, we need a dad. Like, and you know, and I saw how he was. He was a lot like me, but different than me also.
Because even with me, like, yeah, I want people to understand one thing. Yeah, it was hard for me to like transition to the new lifestyle, because I went to I hate putting my brothers under the bus like that, but at the time they weren't really helping me, and I was just going through a lot of shit. I was working like up the fucking ass, and I had to help my mom. They did help me out with my mom a lot, but sometimes it was hard because I needed money, and I was always fucking broke, and
That's a hard situation too.
yeah, and I just needed help. It was hard taking care of my mom, because that's the main reason why like I stood around. Like, not that I was doing bad in money, but like fuck, like I had so much responsibility just off the fucking bat. And then I've been doing this since I was like fucking, since I first became 18. That was like the first thing to do. I never had a chance to go to school, and I wish I did at this point. And I remember when I met the kids. I remember the first time I seen them ever. She actually took me to the Greyhound, and then they were like sleepy as fuck. It was the funniest shit, because they're like in their car seat still, and then they're just
the
like
big girl car seats. They're too big for the shit.
And I remember
little badasses. Huh?
I remember my first thing was like, I'm gonna try to make them a little happy, enjoy the day. I had a lot of money that time. I didn't. I was kind of doing broke, but I was like, I'm gonna buy them some Gatorades and shit like that. And I bought them Gatorades, and they're just like, it's funny because their faces, they're like just barely waking up.
Me was like shocked, like how fucking sweet is that?
And then,
it didn't matter if it was like some $1 million gift, but a Gatorade, like how cute and sweet is that? And it was it was so genuine, and you could tell he liked it. Like, I would love to be like. Not saying he wanted to be their dad right away, but maybe like this is a possibility,
and it's hard. Like it was hard for me to transition in a day, because it was like it's like you're one lifestyle at the time you're single and you're doing whatever, and now you have 2 kids to 3 kids quick, but I'm talking about the time it was I was dealing with Danny and Jade, and then it was hard for me, like I really started understanding like the stepdad situations and stuff like that, and then it was exciting and it was hard, but like at the end of the day I ended up managing to do it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like I love my kids, like every single one of them, like they're the same, like. And
I know he means that. Like honestly, like he finds joy in it. Like this is what he was meant to do. This is one of his purposes. He has many purposes in the world, but definitely one of them. And I know that he knows that, and so life has been good, honestly. Like we bicker and we fight, but it's the most tedious, stupidest things in the whole world. Like
it's like it's not to the situation where we're like in a breakup, or it comes to like a super fucked up point, like.
Right. It's no like no one's not coming home, or we're hiding money from each other, or someone's sucking dick for coke.
I literally give all my money to you, and I do it because I love you. Like I'm not. It's not like I'm just giving you the money, but like you're good at managing, and I'm trying to use that. Like yes, yeah, you're good at what you're doing, and like I need that too, because sometimes it sucks when you're working a lot. You gotta think about so much shit. She blesses me with that. Like she takes
a real. Like I love to party. I love to have a good time. So does he, but he'll be like, there's a certain time for that, and I like that about him.
And I've always been nocturnal about stuff like that, because me drinking, and I always like drinking like in the night. Like it's always been my shit, like drinking at night, and it's just a situation that even to this day I still do, where I drink by myself, and it's just I explain it, like it's like I just chill like that, and I feel like everybody at the end of the day needs like a little time for themselves,
They do, for real. Like sometimes, like I be waking up early as hell. Like this morning, I think I woke up at like 4:00 in the morning, and I went and I laid in the living room so that way Maddie and Dad could sleep good, And I was just in there, and I enjoyed just the quietness and being alone, and I was just like streaming some podcasts on my own and stuff like that, and doing my own thing, and it was like, it's almost like self-care,
All right, so how's life treating you now?
And so I think I kind of said most of how life's treating me now, but at this very moment, I'm in like almost a better place than ever. Like, I love my job. Like, what I do for work, I'm a medical biller, and I love it. I went to school for 10 months to become one. I randomly decided to do it. I didn't really know where it was going to take me. I applied for a job, got the job. They hired me. Dumbasses, no. No, they hired me, and I've been there since November, like 7 months, and learning so much. I love the people I work with, and I just want to keep going on and on about that. Okay, medical biller, wow, that's really great. No, it is great. It's great because I have my very first Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30 job, holidays off, like
just big chilling.
Big chilling. I have great medical benefits, great boss. Like, I've never had this. I've been working retail, restaurant, crazy hours. Like, you have no idea. And to finally, at the age of 30, technically 33 is when I got the job, to finally fulfill that is great. Especially having kids, having those benefits, those great medical benefits for my husband, for me, soon to be husband. Like, it's just a great fucking feeling. Do I make $1 million a fucking year? No, but we're getting there.
We're happy though. That's the thing I have to feel with is that
but
we're in a situation where we're good. Look, I know it's a little too much info, but yeah, we're about to get married actually, and at the moment, I'm not saying we're broke. We're making money. We're paying a lot of money for this shit. It's annoying as fuck to me.
The wedding, yeah.
Cause like I'm just like every fucking check gone. And so like at the moment, yeah, we're not broke, but we're tight on money. We're very picky on little shit we have to buy, and it's the most annoying shit ever. But like I know it's gonna be end of the day. It's gonna be a dope ass fucking wedding, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too. Like, thanks for bringing up the wedding. Like, we can't wait. Like, it's bittersweet, honestly. Like, it's like he said, like, we're missing out on a lot of money this summer because we're kind of pouring it into this wedding, which we can't wait for. And we hope everyone who comes has the best time of their life, just like we plan on doing. But it's so important to us, and I want to say marriage to me means a lot more to me than it did before. Like, as I've gotten older, I feel like it's not to me some piece of paper you sign and then you, oh, look at us, it's some status symbol. Like, no. Like, to me it means more like, hey, we're showing our 3 daughters, look, we're committed to making sure we raise the fuck out of you 3. Excuse me. But like, we are here together and we want to do this the right way. Regardless of what society feels like today and regardless of what our generation feels like today. Me and Kevin have made a commitment to always be here for our daughters. I know his ass. I don't care. At the end of the day, I could tell him he's this, he's that, F you, you suck, blah, blah, blah. He will come back the next day.
You can say, you're nailing me.
Shut up. Yeah, pretty much. And he could tell me the same thing, and I would always come back. And that's just, honestly, like, we're just loyal like that. You know?
Hey, you're the bitch.
What movie are we quoting right now?
Fucking
40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin. Now, that's some real shit though. I just like, if you know me, I like making jokes and I like being funny.
Making love.
But my perspective about marriage, it's something very serious, you know. Like, I've never like been married.
Me neither.
And I'm gonna keep it real. Is the last time I want to get married. Like, I really truly believe you only have one soulmate in your life. Like, I feel like God makes one soulmate.
It's like a circle.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, all serious.
Balls and wieners.
But I really believe that, because I'm gonna keep it real. I don't want to get married ever again. What I mean about that, like,
Makes me
I
want to
hope,
throw up thinking
yeah, like,
about
I don't
that
want to go
shit.
through all that shit again. Like, I feel like it's very important, not just because of the money, but it's like, I feel like I'm not gonna waste my time getting fucking married and, you know, just for nothing, you know. Like, once I feel like once you decide to get married, that should be your fucking life, because you decide. That's a big decision to feel, you know, to do, you know. And yeah, I really truly believe that. Yeah, I could see where you probably maybe use the words like fall in love with somebody and something like that.
It's
But
more than that.
but like,
I feel like-
marriage is a big ass commitment. Not just like, oh, I love you,
Absolutely.
baby. It's not that. It's just not
I
that
feel
shit.
like if you love someone, you have to love them at their worst. So like when we got together, I kind of was at my worst, and that's why I trust Kevin, because he didn't meet me in like, oh, look at me, I'm fucking 5'9" with my big fake booby supermodel body with millions. No, he met me at like, I'm sad. My baby daddy passed away. We're friends. I have these kids. I live in my little apartment. That's how he met me. That's how you know it's real. When they don't meet you in your best. If they meet you in your best, they're not real.
I felt like Ashtray from fucking Don't Be a Menace. You really gonna fucking get my nails done, my hair done, get me a new car, new house, and take care of my 9 kids?
What do you say, children? Are you my daddy? Seriously. I'm pregnant.
Like, all right.
I have 3 kids. I know what I'm talking about.
All right, so like bringing it back to like everything in your life. So, what advice would you give people who went through your situation?
And this is why I told Kevin why I wanted to do this podcast interview, whatever you call it, is because I want and I don't want to say just women. I want to say men too. But like I have a very big soft spot for single mothers. I really truly do. Especially the ones that aren't really single mothers by choice. Some of y'all leaving these good men talking about, I'm an independent ass bitch. Like, no, get back with him. Y'all were good. He's a good man.
I'm independent working at McDonald's, but he was working at McDonald's. Like, you a badass nigga.
No. You know, like, just appreciate a good man. But what I'm saying is when you are struggling and you don't have a big support and
That's funny.
I told him I didn't want to do this because I would cry the whole time, but you know, and it might sound so basic bitch, but like I just really got really close to God, like, and I prayed so much through my whole journey, and you know, stay headstrong. Like, that's the main thing I can say is focus on the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize, and like know when you're in the struggle that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, there really, really is. There will always be that light. Like, even now that I have a husband and kids, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna struggle now because I'm not a single mom. I'm still gonna struggle on my own.
Everyone does.
In a relationship, like, but the thing is, I know for a fact that when I struggle, I'm gonna see the light, and the struggles teach you lessons in like my whole past and everything, and deaths and kids. I've come out of the storm a completely better person, like 152 million kajillion fulfillion% a better person, because I'm wiser, I'm smarter, and I can take my wisdom and share it with other women, men, and anyone struggling through something similar to what I've been through. And I just, you know, I hope the best.
I feel the same way. For my advice for people that go to a similar situation like that, like she said, is light to every tunnel like that. And just keep your head up, man. Like, just do what you gotta do. One of the main especially if you have kids, your main priority is gonna be your health and your kids. Obviously, your kids are gonna be first, but try to, like, do what you gotta do. Do what's best. Sometimes if there's situations where, like, shit could look hard, but you have to let things go. Like, just do it, man. Like, and always pray to God. There's always gonna be situations for everybody that you're gonna go through some rough shit. You just keep your head up, man.
Absolutely. And that's what I want to say is, like, try not to let the emotions get the best of you too, because, like, just play the hand you're dealt. This is what's going on. What can I do? And do the best you can with because there's always a solution. And when there's a will, there's a freaking way. This happened. What do I do? Well, let's see what the solution is, because you can always find something. Absolutely. And I want my life story to be a lesson to other girls and men, like, just take care of business, and make sure you do what's best for your kids end of the day too.
Yeah,
really and truly. And you will be blessed. Be patient. You'll find that person. I found my person.
Everything just takes time.
It takes time. And
Yeah,
and the other thing about time is it's very precious. Don't waste any of your time, ever. And I want to say, you did not waste your time listening to this podcast, because you got something out of it.
And I know sometimes we mention us drinking. We're not bad people, man. Like, we just like to drink, but I don't like drinking in front of the kids or, like, being too fucked up. I kind of do it in the time where everybody's kind of knocked out, or, like, a time I know I could do it. Like, it's time for everything, but, like, we're not bad people. We just drink because we go through shit. Everybody goes through shit. We're not fucking perfect, and we're not drinking to the point where we're fucking drinking and driving fucking people up and shit like that. Like, we're good people.
Yes, and I don't need to elaborate on that, because I don't need to convince anyone we're good people. But
all right, so we're at the end of this interview. You got any final words before we out?
What I want to say is, what I've learned is what something looks like on the surface isn't what it always is on the inside. So I'm just gonna put social media out there for a minute, and I'm gonna say, go through everyone's story, or post, or Snapchat, or whatever, and I see, man, they're really doing that. And it's like, you wonder what's really going on the inside. And you're like, what I used to do when, like, years ago, was be like, I can't believe it, so much money, such a great relationship, oh my god. And today I look back and I'm like, well, that looks like fun. I hope they're happy. And that's what I want people to take from me and my family is what I post. Yes, for the most part, we are happy, but we struggle like everybody does. And I don't want people to look at my relationship as like oh wow, you really just forgot about your baby's dad and moved on real fast. No, that's not what happened. There's a lot more to my past relationship and how it transitioned into my new relationship. And I hope people see that, but even if they don't, I'm content with that, because I know my intentions are pure and that my girls and my husband and me are happy at the end of the day. And like I said, the main thing that I hope people take from this is just keep pushing and be patient, live your dreams, and what you want will come to you, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that is really truly what I want people to see and know and feel inside themselves.
No, that's good.
Thanks, baby.
Alrighty, well, that's it. That's all. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Peace out.
Talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening to my story.
Bye.
Bye.